I think it's pretty cool. Hello, my dear ones. Yeah, that's our new label right there. That's our new label, handcrafted. And Marco, Debbie, and Nicholas, that site's looking really good. We're almost ready to launch the new site. And Nicholas and Debbie and Marco has been working overtime. And man, that looks so good when you pulled it up last night. Oh man. Mwah. Yeah, it's going to be good. We're excited about it. A whole new consciousness, a whole new level of thinking and that sort of thing. But we're in the process of moving. Notice behind me there are notebooks and there are stackables and there's all kinds of things going on here. We've been busting our butt. And we're still busting our butt. But carpet's coming tomorrow, hopefully. And it just had to rain all week. But yeah, carpet's coming in tomorrow. Desks, all the new desks are coming in a couple days after that, next week. And it'll good. I'll take you on a journey, a camera journey into our new place. Show you what it looks like. I should take you over there now and see what it looks like under construction. That's, you know, if you ever build a house or seen under construction, that's just what it is. A lot of work. Jason, my son's in there doing the trim work now. Got some really nice pecan doors in there. Oh, they're so beautiful. Home Depot. Believe it or not, beautiful pecan doors. And so we had to stain all the trim and we're, you know, it's like 7,000 square foot of trim. Better him than me. I'll tell you that right now. I've done my trimming jobs in my life. Anyway. So anyway, I just wanted to keep you up posted and let you know that a lot of cool things are happening. I tell you, taking some of these books off the shelves, some of the old books I've got and the old things, it's just amazing. Some of the stuff dating way back in the early 1900s. I've just got books from authors you just never heard of and then never hear again from. And so just all kinds of stuff, just cool stuff. All kinds related to health, spirituality. I even found this one. Look at this. Eat fruit to fight diabetes. Even has old Trumper on there. Crazy. Yeah. And here's our man right here, this guy. Look at that. Learning that you can't do proteins and keep your kidneys, keep your health, you know, and keep your body free of arthritis and stuff like that. Yeah. So I want to cover a couple of your cases, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to sit here again. I'll try to do another one before we really have to move in, but come that carpet's in there, we're out. So we're going to be doing a lot of moving. Like I said, for me, the worst is my library, to say the very least. And I've got plenty of room, so I've got a lot more bookcases coming, and I've got a lot more books in storage. And we've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bookcases in here. And so we're going to have 7, 8, 9, 10, about almost 20 bookcases. That's a lot of books, and I've read most of them. That's why I can't read anymore. You know, I kind of burn out, but I'm looking at them. Oh, look at this one. I haven't read this one. The 5 Rights to Consciousness and all these things. I've got all kinds of books here. The Rosicrucians, all levels of books here. Fun stuff. God, I'm glad I didn't take Jensen's library. Can you imagine we had Jensen's library? That would be a nightmare. Whew, man, because his library it wasn't twice as big as mine, but it was definitely bigger than mine, don't you think? I think so. Big. And he gave it to me, but, you know, because you can't go back. You know, you always live in the moment. You talk about that. Everything that you've experienced has brought you to the present level of awareness that you have. So going back, but, you know, some of these old books are so good. They got some catchy stuff in there that you sometimes lose thoughts of and stuff like that. So good stuff there. Stephanie Chavez, United States, 37-year-old young woman, 5'5". So you know immediately where I'm going to go, and I think you ought to go there too. Oh, do we have a pituitary problem? It would be rare if she didn't. Right? She's 140 pounds at 5'5". Right? So degenerative glaucoma. Oh, yuck. Okay, so at 37 years young, this sweetheart has got degenerative glaucoma of both eyes now due to surgeries and injury detached retina. Ah! All right, so what's the first thing you think of with a detached retina and a 5'5" person? Well, we know the pituitary. Where are we going to go over there? We're going to go to parathyroid, aren't we? We're going to go to parathyroid and connective tissue. Big time on this young lady. But she's got pressure, glaucomic pressure in both eyes. Oh, wait a minute, but she doesn't have high blood pressure. Let's just assume she doesn't. How can you have high pressure in your eyes and not have high blood pressure? Because there's another system out there, isn't there? There's another system out there called the great lymphatic system, and that is her pressure system. And that system doesn't have a pill you can take. You got to go to the kidneys and start opening up those kidneys and start eating alkaline foods and bring hydration in there. And then, of course, you could get some swelling out of hydration initially. But sweetheart, this is your lymphatic system. And I have to take you down to your kidneys. You're a little pudgy, and so I'm telling you, adrenals, kidneys, and adrenals, honey. You got to work on that. I'd also take me a pituitary herbal and a parathyroid glandular. And you want to do your basal temperatures under your arms as well. See what your thyroid is doing. That is calcitonin. But you want to start strengthening and get this lymph moving out of your head. Because you got your brain is there, the eyes are just one thing. And you're way too young to lose your vision. Holy crap. So you want to go on an all fruit and berry and melon diet. Remember, fructose is essential to neurons. Well, you eat your vegetables, now the body has to convert it to fructose. Why do that? Why go that route when you can go right into the power of fruit? I would also do the eye wash. Eye wash, I would get an eye cup, and I would do about, start with maybe 5 or 6 drops, work up to about 12 to 15 drops. Or if you've got right in the eye, met a biker friend and just go right in the eye. But, pour a little in an eye cup and work yourself out. Now, this stimulates blood and lymph flow, but that's really a topical way to try to grab inside. You have to go inside, and that is kidney. If you want to relieve this pressure up here, your cork is your kidneys, and you got to pull that cork. Well, protein puts corks in kidneys. So you've got to get on the fruit, berry, and melon diet for all kinds of reasons, because you could be early dementia, Alzheimer's. You could stand there like Biden going like this, all right? Come on, what world do we live in when we allow someone like that to rule us? That's bull. Health is a big deal, and it involves this thing, and it's like, holy crap. Is that why our border's open and everybody in the world is coming in? Oh, that's nice. It doesn't fit my military side, sorry. But degenerative glaucoma, so this is the lymph system. So can we say this is an acid pressure problem? That's why the degenerative side of this. Yeah, and you don't want to go blind, huh? And you said something about surgeries. This is the problem when you start getting in surgery with allopathy. Allopathy knows nothing about curing anything, right? And that's not their field, so they wouldn't be about that. They're about the treatment of man's conditions with pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals are not like botanicals. Botanicals are naturopathic pharmaceuticals, by the way. Botanicals are naturopathic pharmaceuticals. They don't have the kick and the bump and the killing that chemical pharmaceuticals have. Plus, they're broad range. They can do 4 or 5 different factors at the same time. You can have a demulcent, an astringent, a tonic. You can have a repertoire of things that one herb can do. Pharmaceutical. Ooh. Yeah. I don't think I need it out. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, my wife's in here loading up the books. And they're finding all kinds of old books. Anyway, so let's go through this. The last 10 years have been full of surgeries. Oh, honey. And then you got the scar tissue. And then you got all this stuff. And that's the thing. We'll just do surgeries. Or we'll just do a biopsy. Or we'll just invade the tissue even more. Your body heals itself. As it breaks itself down, it heals itself. But it's not your body. It's your out-of-control emotions and mind. The conditioned mind is why people always grapple with food choices and things. Now, granted, worms, microorganisms, the parasitic kingdom does bring a little bit of desire for different things inside of you. The left eye has been receptive to the glaucoma and detached retina surgery, but the right eye has continually rejected all tubes. That's because the right is so inflamed and so, you're putting a foreign object in an area that is highly inflamed, that's breaking down, and it doesn't want anything in there. It wants to heal. It wants you to remove the acid that's breaking it down. They don't want tubes and holes and things like this. No. And this is the stupidity of the medical field. And if people don't wake up to good naturopathy, they're butchered. Lack of a better word. The doctor that did all the surgeries, roughly 10 back to back. Well, there's another thing to surgeries, right? Now, I don't know if they put you under totally, but, when you're dealing in anesthesia and you're dealing in any of it, they're all neurotoxic. So you've loaded your body with neurotoxic chemical, and that can be very seriously affecting the functionability of cells. Absolutely can. Roughly 10 back to back. Decided to put 3 tubes together to make it work. I was a guinea pig. Of course, we all are with the medical field. Learn that. These surgeries later caused my cornea to fail, and pressure still was high. Wasn't worth it, was it? That's why I say it's worth it to learn the truth, the facts of how the body works, why there's pressures, what 2 sides of... it can't be much simpler than what we teach, don't you think? You got 2 sides of chemistry, the body's just a bunch of cells and 2 fluids. Come on, a chiropractor looked at me one day and he goes, bunch of cells and 2 fluids, huh? I said, yeah. He said, damn, couldn't be much simpler. And that's the point. You can get as narcissistic and as intellectual as you want to get, but who does it serve? You, maybe, but it doesn't serve anybody well. You have to understand and learn the simplicity of what's going on here, but the hell that it can give you. It's a killing machine. Chemistry is a killing. You got 2 sides. You got the beautiful, positive, angelic side, and then you got the black, negative, evil side. They're both the same side of God. They're just 2 sides of the same coin. So you have to get with that within consciousness, where either side is not where you're at. You're in consciousness. Therefore, you work with both sides. These surgeries later caused... Okay, oh man, how did Jesus... This is horrible. I am on, I'm on the max amount of pressure drops in left eye, prepping for a laser glaucomic treatment. That was did not take in the right eye. The right eye, after all surgeries, including at least 3 more, and the cornea failed. I suffered an injury to the globe where I received stitches for that, and the retina has also detached. 37 years young. You see what I've been saying about the younger people? They're in so much trouble, guys. And all you younger people, we got to get together and teach the other younger people what's going on here. So they did a full cornea transplant as well as put oil in the back of the eye to attempt saving it. Since then, no one can tell me if it is attached or no one wants to touch it further. Well, you can't blame them. There's only so far you can take tissue, you know. Since then, it's in pain and I am on gabapentin for that, the max amount. I'm told if I don't want pain, they will remove the eye. I strongly do not want to give up my eye and want to find the way I can heal from the inside and reattach my retina. I believe it's possible because I feel it's still hanging on. I'm told it's dying, but no one has said it's dead. Then turn it around. If you're serious-minded, you want to go right now and go load up on fruits, berries, and melons, and that's going to be your diet for the next 4 to 6 months. With that, you want to get circulation formula. You want the brain and nerve formula. Now, there's going to be other names to these other formulas coming out, and we'll cover all of that. But at this point, you want kidneys. I do 2 kidney formulas, a lymphatic formula, right? There's also, we have it over here in the clinic as a Visioplex. I would kind of advise that as raw eye tissue, but it also has bilberry and all kinds of things. And so does my eye wash. But this has a lot of goodies in there that could be helpful. Some vitamins, minerals, I get all that. Yeah. But this is a good Chinese formula. Health concerns. Excellent formula. Visioplex. We have it here at the health center. Okay. Oh, honey. Oh, Lord. Well, bottom line is you have to get this pressure out as fast as you can. You don't punch holes in things and you don't run tubes in things. You've got to get the pressure through the lymphatic system because every tissue, not just your eyes, honey, everything is involved now in your head. That's your brain, your central nervous system. I mean, you can go on with all kinds of problems coming in the future. And you've got pituitary. That means all your other glands are probably somewhat suppressed. And I have a feeling the parathyroid is a good place to start because how's your fingernails? How's your skin? All these things like that. You want to strengthen connective tissue. You want to reattach retinas. You've got to have a good parathyroid and thyroid, but you're going to have an alkaline movement of chemistry. You can't have stagnation of the lymph. That's where the pressure's coming in, and that's serious. Now, what else? Transverse colon. Really get our GI renew, GI broom, and really start working on your GI tract too. This transverse colon, and I have a feeling you're going to have some issues across here. And get your eye pictures. Get your eye pics. And that way you can see prolapsing, you can see malabsorption, because I'm just telling you, this is what you got. And it's every time, in every case. All right? So hang in there and get on that raw right now. And if you have to go on a water fast. The thing is, though, get fruit all in your gut. Get your gut cleaned out of all meats and beans and grains and crap like that. Get fruit in your gut. Then go on maybe a water fast for 3 days or so. Anything like that helps to move things and get pressure out of you. Mm-hmm. You could neti pot the sinuses. Make yourself a little bit of a... Well, you could use what we used to call the 3-lung formula, pleurisy root, fenugreek, and mullein. And you could implant that and start breaking this loose. That'll help take pressure out of here as well. So you could do that. The other thing is go down your neurolymphatic points down your spine, for sure. So you got neurolymphatic points, you've got eye washes, you've got eye material you can take in terms of supplements. You're now got to address the system that is causing this. That's your lymphatic system. So you got all those herbs down. No, that'll help. Pull out all the stops. Since you went all the stops in surgeries, pull out all the stops. Everything about health. Use reflexology. Use everything that gets things moving and turned on. Electrical. Electrical is raw foods. Electrical is fruits, berries, melons, and salads. But electrical for you is fruits, berries, and melons. And turn everything on. Make sure you're moving your bowels at least once or twice a day. And take a look at those eyeballs, because I think you're going to find some chronic bowels as well. Life Labs. What do we got going here? Let's see what this person's got going here. We got some lab reports here. This is Gina. Revision with more info from email original sent March 5th. Hi, Dr. Morse. Hug. I am 65-year-old female, 5'4", 110 pounds. I have a low-grade erotic regurgitation, osteoporosis, insomnia, brain fog, chronic urgent diarrhea, and real smelly gas for many years. Well, all right, let's back up. All right. Smelly gas and stuff like that from your bowels is probably sulfur. So you probably have a lot of sulfur in there. But also, what's the smelliest food on the planet? Putrefaction. That's proteins. That is, nobody likes necroticism or putrefaction. Nobody likes the smell of that. Matter of fact, when you get tumors and you open them up, I remember that huge tumor we pulled off of this lady. Huge. Boy, did that smell. I don't know how she lived with it. It was horrible. It's necroticism. It's decay. And that's really what stinks. Well, people have a lot of that inside of them and don't know it. Their lymph nodes are blacked up. Everything is decaying. And they don't realize they can't smell themselves. But they go by me and go, oh, man, you stink. Going back, chronic urgent diarrhea. So you really have some serious bowel problems. You're really inflamed and that sort of thing. So you want to take a look at that. I'd like to see what your bowels look like. But get on GI Renew. Since you're kind of chronic diarrhea, either do number 1 or number 0. If you're moving too much, go to 0. All right? Because you want to get this balanced out. All right? So you have to eat the foods that balance it out. Now, fruits are going to be a little astringent for a little while, but brain fog, well, that comes with everything. All the lymphatic stagnation and everything else. And then you got to look at the autonomic and the adrenal glands. Insomnia, where are we at? So 5'4", so we know immediately pituitary, right? Right now, what's she also saying? Insomnia. So what else is right beside pituitary in your eye? The pineal gland. So her pineal gland's now, so you know immediately she has transverse bowel problems. And I don't mean to not talk to you, honey, but you have transverse bowel problems. That's all across here. Whenever you have this, you've got this. Right? Osteoporosis, right on. So your lymphatic system is backed up. You're very acidic. You're leaching calcium out, and you're not putting it back. And one thing, you can't put it back when you're highly acidic, of course, but when you start to hydrate and move yourself out, you want to be able to build your bones connective tissue back. And you can't do it without a parathyroid glands that are healthy. And so I submit to you that pituitary work is essential, parathyroid work is essential. You might want to take a glandular for the pineal gland just until you can kind of get it turned on and this all cleaned out up there. You might want to use the GI broom. You could use the GI broom without a GI Renew. And see if you get along with that, and that'll bring you into normacy in terms of bowels. You want to, on a raw diet, you want to have 2 bowel movements a day. Colonoscopy was clear. Doing Fab 4 on second round with brain and nervous, lung and GI loose. Yeah. And stomach T. I'm finishing my second bottle of GI Loose. I haven't been taking as many as suggested, maybe 2 to 4 a day. Was worried about getting constipated. Well, yeah, you got to test everything. No, I don't blame you. You got to worry about, you're testing everything to see where your magic number is. And I always start out on the lower end instead of the higher end. You don't want to get yourself locked up, you know. But you have spasticity there that is indicating inflammation and acidosis. So you could have inside the wall a lot of malabsorption. You just need to have your eyes so we can look. And it is curbing the diarrhea, but still having smelly gas. And I'm going to say you probably have sulfur, you know. And that is gassy, bloaty stuff, smelly gas, farts, and stuff like that. And, you know, you got to get it out. GI broom is meant for that, but so GI renews a little bit. Our urinary tract formulas, this level 1, has got herbs in there to help pull sulfur out. And all our urinary formulas, I think I told you, have one lymphatic formula, and all our lymphatic formulas have one urinary formula. But you always should go on the left side. If you have problems, and I was just talking to Jessica about this because she's got some really, really tough cases. But you always muscle test if you're concerned whether a formula will have a reaction to you or not. Does not hurt to muscle test. One day, a formula you've been taking for a while, we're done working. We need to take a rest. And you're not going to test strong on it. And to take more of it makes you feel a little weaker. And you especially see that with the glandulars. So you want to muscle test everything. You don't want to take something that makes you weak. Everything you take, you want to feel that power that it gives you. Eating lots of organic berries and melons. Yep, did a 3-week detox of salads and fruits only. I was getting too skinny. I was worrying me. I know, but you will stop and then turn around. You will always stop at a certain weight. We won't wither away. Oh yeah, I have anxiety and woke up most mornings with a panic attack. So where does that take us? Again, we're having a good conversation spiritually because Jessica's working on out-of-body traveling. And we're talking about the adrenals because she has a case where obviously this young man has been on fruit for 1.5 years. He's not going anywhere. Nerve rings, very adrenal. His mom says spiritual, probably, but spiritual people have adrenal gland problems. That's mainly why they're spiritual. So, you got to work on those. But we were getting into this subject on all of this, about the adrenal gland connection to the inner world of the astral and the whole astral plane. And I was talking about Monroe Institute. Matter of fact, I got that Monroe information I want to give her here. But see ya. Thanks for putting the books up.
You're welcome.
Damn. Well, dreaded. Worst dreaded thing there is, move this library. Oh my God. I can't dread anything in my life but moving my library. Okay, I woke up most morning panic attack. So again, that goes into the adrenal glands. I'm surprised you don't have sleep apnea or some type of heart pauses and stuff like that with that as well. I did 2 stool tests which showed no parasites, no H. pylori. It did show high staph or strep. And to me, GI doc said they showed nothing to be concerned with. I can send it. You would like. I purchased your parasite formulas, but they gave me diarrhea, so I stopped. Well, Parasite G would give you a little diarrhea because I think I have a little cascara in there. Because the worst thing you want to do is take a parasitic formula and have constipation. So that one probably wouldn't be too good for you that way. But Parasite M would do you really well, I would think. But, you have to see. It is so helpful to have pictures of eyes. I know we don't go extensively over it, but so there's her picture. Any problem with the smelly gas and all that around her gut? Take a look at that. I'll tell you one thing. You got nice genes. Holy crap. Look at those. Look at the nice trabecula. Look at how straight that is. That's nice. That's really nice. Chronic bowels. Chronic gut. You have thick. Look how thick. Look how thick this is. Look how thick all this is. Yeah. You have thick lymphatic stagnation. And look how over here on the left side that it's moved up in this area here. Right? This is her. Oh, parathyroid. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I mean, that's close to tonsils, parathyroid. You got to work on that. Parathyroid is essential. You got a chronic pituitary problem. Pineal is down as well. You've got a little bit of radius solaris starting your downline, so you want to be real careful and nip this in the bud because you're starting to radiate over to the back of the head. You're 65 because it looks like you have a cholesterol ring. I'd have to have a better picture to look at this, but it looks like you have a little bit of a cholesterol ring. Now, you don't have any cataracts, but did you have cataract surgery? You know, so it's just interesting with that. It's like your lymph wants to come forward here. You got lymph nodes popped up in places, honey. Right kidney is a chronic, right knee is chronic. A little vaginal wall going on there, a little bladder going on there, so you want to be careful with that. Over here, we got a faint little weakness in the liver gallbladder area, right ovary, just a little bit of the bronchio on the right side as well. Mostly, and this back, going down your back on the right side, you're really thick lymphatically. Choking off the head almost. I mean, it's amazing. Chronic parathyroid, chronic throat weakness. Don't be surprised you don't have a sore throat when you start detoxing. Your upper C-spine is somewhat chronic. As you move down to your T-spine, you're getting chronic in the lower T's and in the lumbar, which would make sense because your kidneys are chronic. You're getting on your left side, you have a better kidney on that side, but it has a lot of lymph stagnation within the kidney itself. Your upper femur's got a little bit of weakness going on with that. You have, look at the orange. A lot of sulfur, a lot of heavy lymph stagnation. Mid-back, big time. But on the positive side here, you've got good genes, but look at these, look at how much lymph is building up here. And then over here, look at that, same thing. Amazing. But it's enough to say you got some chronic bowels, honey. You got to keep working on that and get in some raw. What's your labs look like here? What are you on here? All right, so good whites, good reds, hemoglobin hematocrit, platelet count 267,000. Good, we'll take that. Neutrophils, lymphocytes, monocytes, you have 0 basophils. A1C, 5.4. Lipid assessment. Okay, so we've got triglycerides. Okay. I think I don't know. Cholesterol is 549. With this lab, anything under 5.2. So her cholesterol's a little. Which one does it say? LDL. And the cholesterol, here's HDL. LDL cholesterol, a little low. Non-HDL cholesterols. Well, as far as this looks to me, your cholesterols are fairly within line. You might have a little bump on which is phospholipids for cells. Here's your AST liver enzymes, ALT, AST. They're perfect. Where's your alkaline phosphatase? There it is. 75. For me, your alkaline phosphatase is up just a tad. That is not just liver. That is kidneys and bones. So you might see a little kidney going on there. In my opinion, you're way down in normal ranges to the lab effect, but you know, C-reactive proteins, free T3. Okay, thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay, so you're at 1.47. You're low on the TSH. T3s are within normal ranges. T4s within normal ranges, but your TSH is still a little on the low side. And it might be working a little overtime to keep the thyroid, parathyroid somewhat active. But your eyes show a almost degenerative parathyroid area. So you want to take a real good look at that. And, just do what you're doing. Start moving around. But you're really chronic problem. You have great genes. But you've got to get a hold of your lymphatic system, your kidneys, right? And we'll start moving everything out and cleaning those bowels up. That's where, you see what it looks like. That whole eye should be blue. These whole eyes should be blue. No white, no yellow, no brown, no orange. All of that tells us a story. Okay. Here's Michelle, 27, 5'4". Boy, all that milk drinking through all these years really stunted the growth of the pituitary, didn't it? Oh my God. 12 stone pounds. How big stones? My daughter has high hemoglobin, has swollen glands a lot of the time. All right, so you're only 27, and you have a daughter. So I submit to you, sweetheart, that one, your genes, you're 5'4". That's most definitely pituitary. Now, the pituitary controls all the other endocrine glands. Your endocrine glands are the bosses. They rule. They either tell you to or not to do things. They tell the cells what to do. And if they're on a roll, they're hyperactive because of lymph or hypo, then you see that. You either see hyperthyroidism or hypo. They're not diseases. This is just activity level of those cells being promoted by what? And that's what you have to look at. What side of chemistry is hyperstimulating to tissue? And which gland controls which gland? And you put it all together, and then there's your answer. And so, bottom line here, I see a pituitary, probably a parathyroid. Now, I'd have a host of questions for you. Postpartum depression. I would have, did you carry to term properly? Did you have a hard time conceiving with this child? I would have a boatload of questions, but then I'd have your eyes too, right? So, where I'm driving this, your daughter, she's going to be worse than you. That's just the nature of the beast, the downline. Because you generally don't have children till you're, some at 15, 16, but generally you're at 18 to 25 before you have your first child. So your mother gave you her genes and lymphatic system 20 years previously. Then how did you eat? How did you take care of that past that your mom gave you? And unfortunately, man doesn't realize the lymphatic system yet, and that the mother passes it. So that's a discussion only we are having. But when you get it, it explains everything of what you see in the children and why you see what you see. And I submit to you, you've got to think not only of yourself, Mama, but your babies, because you've got 5'4". you got the potential to have parathyroid problems. That's bones, connective tissue. That's your happiness. That's depression. I mean, and then there's the adrenal glands and the kidneys, and then there's the adrenal gland and kidneys in your daughter. So this is something you want to make a family affair. You want to have a raw food family for a while. I don't know. Let me see if you give me the age of your daughter. My daughter has EBV and has a weak immune system, meaning her lymphatic system is a you-know-what-house mess, right? But so's mama's probably. I mean, come on. Get a picture of your eyes and get a picture of your daughter's eyes and take a look, or we will. When they say immune system, know immediately it's your lymphatic system. That's where your immune cells are. That is your immune system. That's your sewer system. I think her neck looks swollen. You see, and that's the thing. All right, so sweetheart, you got to take care of you and your daughter here, because that is, when you're seeing this, your daughter's kidneys are not filtering worth a hoot or at all. So you see that her lymph nodes and she's swelling. That you don't want swelling. That's edemic swelling. That's not the proper swelling. That's life-threatening after a while. And this tells you right away your child is having troubles along with you. And I'm telling you, everybody has kidneys. What degree? How much? Okay. But you want to pay attention to that and get her on a kidney formula, on a little bit of a lymphatic formula. I'd probably do the 3-lung or do the lymphatic 1. And with her, I don't know how old she is, but, don't be afraid of herbs with the children, but be afraid of what you're seeing. That's your sewer system. That's your cancer system. That's all the systems that you don't want to know about. That's the ones that the medical profession kills your kids over. Mm-hmm. Horrible. Not even funny. You don't want to see half the pictures I've got here of children, what they look like after chemo. Oh, but we're doing our best to save your child. Yeah. You and your best to kill them. You're just using a different word. So I don't like that you think her neck looks swollen or any part of her. So again, this is vital, not just for you. This is vital for her. You guys have got to get your kidneys filtering. Pee in the jar. You want to get your daughters and your kidneys filtering. I mean, and if your daughter's swelling up like that, do it now. Do it now. She doesn't smile, drink. She doesn't smile, drink, but eats dairy, sugar. You're allowing this? You're the mama. I come from a disciplined family. So I don't know what to tell you. These old farmer guys back in the 1900s are extremely disciplined. And my grandmother was a school teacher. She raised me. And let me tell you, discipline. And you need to not give this. Now, here's another little hiccup. Because of what you're saying here, what is another little problem your child is facing? Fungus. An overboard of fungus. And that's where you want to use Parasite M on her and start bringing this fungus out of her. Get her off the friggin' dairy. I hope you just came to this channel. Because the one thing that man has to stop is dairy products. Matter of fact, I just packed that up. But that was from Dr. Spock. And then you had the United States Surgeon General C. Everett Koop. Both of those. Top docs, both medical, both said milk is bad for your kids. Right? So if you want to give milk to your children, it needs to come from you, and your milk needs to be alkaline. You could go to a goat farm and see if they have organic goat milk. And that'd be the only milk. And that, you're creating a scenario where the price you have to pay as a parent is not a fun one. So you really want to learn all you can as a mama about health, because the medical profession is not about health. They'll try to straighten out the symptoms for you. At what cost? Look at this lady with the glaucoma. Could have had that out of her in a couple months, easy. Saved her eye and everything else. But no. We're going to put tubes, we're going to play, we're going to punch holes. Because they don't understand the lymphatic system. And you guys have to. You're the savior of this world, maybe. I don't know. So that's where I would go with that. Her folate and B12 and iron are all low. I wouldn't even worry about that part. Are you kidding me? I mean, if she's swollen in her body, her liver's swollen, I mean, everything's swollen. So, you're going to focus on the system that your child needs the most that'll affect everything else and pull everything back in line. And that is the lymphatic system. Kidneys, adrenals, and I'm going to tell you, your daughter probably has pituitary, parathyroid, all the endocrine glands. So you would want to give your daughter a kidney, a lymphatic, an endocrine gland, parasite M. I'd also flip her brain and nerve too. All these things. And go after it. And go after yourself with this. Because, this can be some serious stuff you're talking about here. This is some serious stuff. When you start swelling up and your lymph nodes start swelling up, this is very serious. You saw that lady with the tumors on her neck, on her chin and everything. How did it start? Just like this little girl. No one knows how to fix the lymph system. You guys do. And that's what we're good at. We keep getting better, but you look around this world, at least we're the best in the world here, and we know what we're doing. At least those things. Are we perfect? No, because everybody's on a different level. I got time for one more, because we're going to, like I say, we're going to be moving, and holy crap! Oh yeah, man, a lot of moving to do. And it's supposed to be raining this week. And this is our move week. Well, carpets tomorrow. Please, 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 please. And then that's 3 days. And then after 3 days, we can just move in. This is Kimberly. All females today. Yay, the females! I'm very pro-female because that's your love side. And I love the love side. Nothing like a good love from a good female. Yeah. Just saying. I'm an old guy. But all right, so this is a 49-year-old woman from the United States. She's 5'7". Something a little higher. 120 pounds. Looks like she looks perfect. I'm scheduled for a routine colonoscopy. Yeah. Whenever they ask me, have you had a colonoscopy? I said, nope. You're what, 74? Yeah, nope. Nope. Why do I need one for? I keep my bowels clean. And my lymphatic system moving. You get polyps, not from a dirty bowel. You get polyps from what? Lymphatic system. Little tumors. So again, when you look at enough eyes, we talked about this before, that certain chemistries, certain minerals like certain parts of the body, metals, that sort of thing, copper likes the kidneys, that aluminum and mercury love the brain, the nervous systems and stuff like that. And so chemistry naturally has its places to go and store itself in the human body. But where was I going with that? I'm wondering what your opinion is on colonoscopies. Be careful. Your iris analysis is totally stress-free. It doesn't have any possibility of compromising tissue. There has been perforation with colonoscopies before. So I've heard nightmare stories, and I've heard, we get to see a picture. Keep in mind a colonoscopy, and this is the problem with a colonoscopy. You can't see the outside of your intestinal walls. You're only looking. Consider your intestinal tract like a garden hose, a little bigger around, but like a garden hose. So I'm going to put a camera up my garden hose. All right? I can see black on the wall. You've been taking herbs. No, that's mucoid plaque. All right? I showed you Dr. Jensen's colonoscopy and endoscopy, right? Yeah. Pre and post herbs. So, that's the sort of thing, is that a lot of people have very thick walls interstitially of the intestinal tract, and you see that so much in the iris that you can lose calcium and connective tissue integrity. You got prolapsing of most of the flexures, prolapsing of the bowel, a lot of problems there, and so you have to be careful with that. Plus, you don't get up into the small bowel. And so there's a lot, I think, and plus then you can't see the outside wall. Only polyps on the inside. So then what do you do about it? So an iris analysis is so much better because you can see the shape, the size. You have a 5-color glossy almost right there looking at it. You can see malabsorption. You can see lymphatic stagnation. You can't see lymphatic stagnation with a camera. And then you get this crap where there's black on the wall and they blame herbs for it, and they don't understand mucoid plaque and that sort of thing. That things like white flour is like a glue to the wall of your bowels. Mm-hmm. They don't get that yet. So I'm about taking that time, getting an iris analysis, looking at it, and then going full bore into a health program. That's where I would tend to go. But, I'm worried about the prep medication and the actual procedure. Yeah, and then you only put you down. So you got some type of propofol or probably a little light. What's the thing that's killing everybody? My aunt died of colon cancer. Oh, jeez. And I've always struggled with constipation. I have a cleansed diet, no dairy, wheat, refined sugar. Good woman. I eat mostly fruit and vegetables, minimum grains, and minimal meat. Well, I think that's perfect. You're doing great. You're doing great. Get an iris analysis, take a look at it, and see and work on it with herbs, and your body will clean it without you even knowing it. Your body will clean you and take care of you while the magic of the herbs are working on you. I love it. And so you can't ask for anything better than that. But that's just this lady's doing everything she has to do right. She got rid of the friggin' dairy product. There's nothing good about a dairy product. Wheat. Nothing good about wheat. I even told Ann Wigmore one time, I said, what do you wheatgrass for? At least go alfalfa. Refined sugar. Yeah, all of that. And the meat. Stay away from the friggin' meat. I eat mostly fruit and vegetables, minimum grains, and minimal meat. I'd take those out for a while and go full bore into a detox, especially if your aunt had colon cancer. This just means she had what? It was a colon, but what was her real problem? The lymphatic system and her kidneys and adrenals. If your sewer system's working and you don't have any stagnation of sewage, you don't have a symptom. If your 3 forms of energy are flowing, blood, nerve, and lymph, you are on top of the mountain, baby. You've got it. You're on. It's when you start getting obstructions to any of those 3, blood, nerve, or lymph, you start having problems. Your first obstructions actually come in the lymphatic system. And then swelling. Well, then you start shutting down nerve flow or blood flow. Then you start getting ischemia from the blood. And it's squeaking through. And then you go on and on and on there to strokes, heart attack, blah, 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 neurological. Then you get into the numbness and all those things like that. And they're just blockages that you can unblock if it doesn't kill you first. Yeah, good work, honey. I'm not I would never have one. But that's just me. But I know what my colon looks like, and I'm on the foods to clean it, and that's just what you're doing here. Grains and meat are the worst for your bowels there are, besides the dairy products. Dairy is just the lymphatic compromiser of all foods on the planet. Is anything dairy, cheese, cream cheese, milks, anything like that, especially pasteurized milks, things like that. If you feel you need milk, you got to call your mama. You're a human. Okay. If I do this one, Dan, this is all females. And you're a male. So I'm going to wait till tomorrow. Well, not till tomorrow. I don't even know when I'm going to get back here. I'll do it while they're moving. I'll wait and I'll move all this at the last. And I'll get one more in before we move my desk and the lights and this big microphone thing up here. Yeah. Ooh, we got eye picks. Ooh, what's this? Yuck! Yucky! Eye picks. All right, we're going to have some fun the next time. Absolutely. Okay, guys, that's enough of the old guy here. We worked so hard on those. Look at that. Handcrafted. The world is going to handcrafted, if you notice that. If you look at magazines and you start looking at online things and stuff, everybody's starting to pick up that handcrafted. I had been thinking about our handcrafted store for a couple of years now, and we'd been making some things up for handcrafted store, and I'd been talking to you about that. So this whole idea of the handcrafted store, we've been building and building and building, and I just love it. I love anything handcrafted anyway. I don't care what it is. And so we hope to have some good handcrafted products from some of you guys that are making things out there, and you want to show the world what you're making. But and then of course Sarah, she's an artist in jewelry, and she uses these megalodon things, shells and stuff she finds into these cool pieces of jewelry. And so they're really cool stuff. And so some of these artifacts they find out here in Florida go way back, the Megalodon period and stuff. They had shark's teeth this big. I mean, wow stuff. Yeah. All right. I love you guys. Take care. We're doing it. So have fun. Take care of yourselves. Eat the fruit. Never be afraid of the fruit. Matter of fact, my little miniature mango tree is popping. There's mangoes everywhere, but they're little bitty. But I'm going to have a lot of mangoes. And then the Valencia Pride is due in a couple of months. No, month now. Valencia Pride. Remember those? Great big boogers. Yeah, well, our Valencia Pride trees got taken out with a hurricane. Took them right out. And these are monsters. So, but this one place down in Fort Myers, they were able to save a lot of their trees. And it's like, oh, but they only have a limited amount. So take care of yourselves. Love you guys. If you need anything, contact us here at the Handcrafted store and our health center. And we're about ready to launch our new website. So Marco, any day now. It's going to be fun, you guys. Excellent job. Yeah. Love you guys.